Welcome back to the channel. This week, as a follow-on to our What You Can Buy series, we're going to take a look at boats that are under $150,000. If you recall, last week we looked at boats between $150,000 and $250,000. This week we're going $75,000 and $150,000. Coming up. So today we're going to take a look at four boats under $150,000. The Searay 340 Sundancer, the Carver 346 Aft Cabin, the Rinker 390 Express, and the Tiara 3800 Open. All of these are good vessels in this price point, and hopefully you will find this useful information. But also remember, it's Christmas time, so make sure you take a look at cruisingcalypso.com and go to our shop, and you will find some great items for that special boater on your list, and it sure helps the channel. So let's get into the boats. Before we get into the boat, let's take a look at some numbers. Using the boat budget tool that's available on cruisingcalypso.com, and it's free to anyone, and I will put that link down below. First, let's take a look at the information that we've gathered here. So we're talking about a boat that's $150,000. If you're financing it with 20% down, let's assume a modest rate of around 3% over 20 years. Let's take a look at how that stacks up in terms of monthly and annual expense. So starting with the down payment, 20% on $150,000 would be $30,000. The tool then provides an estimate of your monthly costs for the various different expenses. The total, as you can see here, is $1,624 a month, which includes not only your payment, but all your docking and your maintenance and all the monies that you need to put away to take care of a boat of that size during the course of a year. That money is not paid out all at once, but it's good to set money aside in preparation for upcoming expenses, storage, and annual use. Again, these are estimates and they're based on my experience, but it does give you a good sense of what a boat of this size would cost. Now, if you do more of the work yourself in terms of maintenance, then the cost is less, and if you have a boatyard do more, then it's going to be closer to what you see the numbers here. But it is a good rule of thumb to say, hey, can I afford not only to buy a $150,000 boat, but can I afford to own it? Let's start by taking a look at a Searay 340 Sundancer. The 340 Sundancer is a really great boat at this price point. They were made for many years prior to 2004, going back into the 90s. They had a little bit different style then, so you can get this boat anywhere from $100,000 up to $150,000, and actually more if you get a brand new one. But it really is a nice size. It holds lots of people. There is room for sleeping, and there is room for cruising. And the boat offers a lot in terms of cockpit space, in terms of accommodations. She is gas powered by a pair of 8.1 gas engines, which will move her right along. She'll easily, with stern drives, easily hit mid-30s and cruise high 20s with decent range. This boat is definitely one to take a look at. As you can see, she has a nice wood interior, television, and depending on, as I say, the vintage you get, the interior will be a little different. It has a full head. It's a wet head, but there's enough space to put a shower curtain to close things off. So really an all-around good boat. It's an express style boat, which is pretty common at this price point, but Searay makes an excellent boat. I've had two of them, and they really are a good boat. And now, one thing I will point out about Searays, and it's not totally unique to Searays, but Searays definitely are one of the most common purveyors of this, is they prefer an open layout down below, which is to say, in boats up to the 340, they have no partition between the forward sleeping area and the aft sleeping area. They prefer to have an open forward berth with a curtain, and then the aft mid cabin is really arranged as a sitting area and less of a berth, although you can pull out the seat, if you will, and it does make up a double berth. Rather than treating the boat as having two cabins, which I think, at least in my experience, is preferable for cruising, because during the day you really don't use that accommodation space. So I just point that out as a point of reference for boats of that type. As I mentioned, the 340 has a pair of 8.1 stern drives, so those engines give it plenty of scoot. The dash layout really is quite nice. There's plenty of room for electronics and a good clarity and button layout. The next boat in our list is another Carver. We had a Carver in the under $250,000 category, larger than this one, but here's another one that I think offers a great value at this price point. It's sharp looking, it offers 2 staterooms separated by the salon, and Carver is a great value in that they're good coastal cruisers. They're not necessarily made for offshores and heading out into big seas, but from cruising up and down the coast, you'd be hard pressed to beat this value. From the layout, you can see that she has forward and aft staterooms, each en suite with their own heads. Now, at 34 feet, she's fairly compact, and there's not a lot of space in each of the staterooms, but it has everything you need for privacy for 2 couples or for a family of parents and 2 kids. Looking at the salon, you can see that those large side windows make it very bright and airy inside. She has room for sitting and entertaining, and then as you move down one level, basically 2 stairs into her galley, there's plenty of room there. It really is a nice, useful space to use. And given that this boat is mid-2000s, it is up to date and current, so quite stylish. You can see just to the right of the stairs coming down from the aft deck are the stairs into the aft stateroom. Here is one of the heads with a separate shower. The commode is in the shower, but it does allow you to close that off and keep from soaking everything. Galley, 2-burner stove, sink, large refrigerator and microwave, coffee machine built in. Here's the forward stateroom, which has not probably a double berth, a little unconventional in shape, but certainly useful for two folks. And then the head there, as you can see, also with a separate shower. So really quite nice in terms of space. Moving into the aft stateroom, there is an island double with full walk around, easy for making, and then there's storage. As you can see, there's cabinets around it and storage underneath the bed. Moving up onto the flybridge, the helm is typical for Carvers, has everything you need, room for electronics, all your gauges, and your controls. You can see it's nicely laid out with good visibility. I do like the contrasting color of the fiberglass. It reduces the glare. And like the Searay, this boat is also powered by 8.1 liter Mercruisers, which will move this boat right along. The next boat in this under $150,000 category review is the Rinker 390. Now, Rinker's a name you don't often hear as much as common as maybe Regal, Cruisers, or Searay, but this is a nice looking boat, and the reason I chose it is it's a bit of a contrast to the Searay. It's an express style boat, but when we take a look at the cabin space coming up, you'll see that she does have separate forward and aft staterooms. Now, she's larger, she's 39 versus 340, but it's good to see that the layout is a little bit different. Now, as typical for the express style class of boats, she has lots of cockpit space for entertainment and relaxing. You can see here there's room to eat, there's a table, and I'm sure there's an infill cushion that can be put in to make that into a sun pad. There's also somewhat of a summer kitchen with a stove and a sink up here. So you can see in this case the space is enclosed by a canvas top and isinglass, making it a multi-season space. Now, looking at that salon, you can see we're looking aft here, and there's an actual bulkhead and door into the aft stateroom. It's not just a small little conversation pit. And part of what Rinker has done is they've raised the aft deck. If you look at her profile, she's a little bit more boxy, so that gives her aft stateroom much more room. Seen here with the twin beds, compare that to the Searay 340. Again, it's a larger boat, I know, but even at this size, the Searay wouldn't be like this. Here's the forward stateroom with a double bed, and there's also that's also enclosed. So just a different philosophy in terms of the headspace on the boat is very nice, trimmed out in similar gloss cherry as the rest of the boat, and then no surprise, this boat also is powered by 8.1 Mercruisers, or in this case, they're listed as 496s, but big block gas engines, which is a common theme in a lot of these boats. It does help keep the price point down, and you will find that. However, our next boat is diesel, and I'm very excited about that. The last boat we're going to look at today as part of this under 150 series is a Tiara 38. Now this is a pretty special boat because it's not common that you find boats like this in this price point. So the Tiara 38 Open typically came with a hardtop, like you see in this picture here, and there's a small space between the hardtop and the windshield frame for ventilation, although it could be closed off with isinglass. These boats did come as gas, but this one actually is sold as diesel, and so you can find them at diesel with a Cummins power plants at this price point. Now you can see they have a nice cockpit. They're pretty much designed as a fishing boat, although you can see it does have a swim platform, and then you'll see there's also decent accommodations below. But they were first and foremost designed as sort of fishing, and there's space for that, although as you can see there's a transom seat that does fold up, but there are fish lockers to store your catch. You can see here it has Cummins diesels, which again at this price point is unusual. This boat is a 1997, so it's a little bit older. Tiara made this boat for a number of years, and the later ones were much more expensive, and they're still available. I'm not sure if they make something like the 3800 today. Down below, the woodwork was impeccable. They have pretty much of an open layout with a wet head. There is a forward good size double berth, and then there is a settee that can be converted into a double as well. Great helm station, room for electronics, full gauge instrumentation, and switch gear. You can see it has an opening vent, a power vent, much like Searay's do, the lower part of the central windshield panel, and then that destroyer wheel. So here now is that layout. You can see the head, galley, that large forward berth, and the settee that can be converted into a berth. So the boat really is a real find at this price point. They're out there. You can find this boat. They're blue water boats. Even though at 38 feet, they're built well. They're tough. If you can find one in good condition, it's a great boat. It's not going to have the accommodations of some of the others we've looked at. But if you're looking for a boat that has a little bit more option for doing some fishing, then an older Tiara 38 Open might be a one for you. I hope you enjoyed this look at 4 vessels under 150,000. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.